So tell me, we're not the only ones that have a ton of boxes laying around all the time. Although we do recycle here at home, recently I have just been loving reusing these boxes to create beautiful crafts. We recently renovated our guest bathroom and we had a huge box where the tub and the surround was at. This box is so thick, I knew I had to make some crafts with it. For the first one, we are going to take a piece. I'm just going to start cutting and cutting until I have a piece of the size that I want. We're creating a beautiful farmhouse style tag. I'm going to sand it down smooth on the edges using a sanding block, and then I'm going to give it a couple of coats of Waverly chalk paint in the white, and of course we want to let that fully dry. Because we are working with cardboard, you're always going to have those edges that look like cardboard. So I'm going to take some nautical rope from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to start wrapping it around by hot gluing it in place. A little bit of hot glue goes a long way because it is cardboard and the rope really attaches really well. And then we are going to cut off the excess and then just make sure that it aligns nice and snug to the other end. Now we're going to bring in a Dollar Tree sticker. You've seen me work with these before. This is a farmhouse style. They look like little mini signs and I love them. Just going to grab this one and just place it right on the bottom of the tag. Now we're going to bring in a small little tiny grapevine wreath that I get on Amazon, and I do have on my Amazon store, by the way. If you are interested, you can always take a look. The link is down in the description box. I'm going to take some faux boxwood and I'm just going to take off some of the little branches and hot gluing them all around the wreath. That way it's going to be fuller and just add some nice greenery color. We're going to hot glue the little wreath right on top of the tag and it's looking so pretty. I'm going to take another piece of that nautical rope, hot glue it to the back of the tag so that we can hang it. And I'm also going to put some masking tape. This part is not necessary. It really is going to stick, but just in case I decided to put a piece. And I think it's stunning. What a beautiful little tag. You can make this any size you want actually, but I think it's so, so beautiful. For the next cardboard hack, I'm going to take another larger piece and I'm just going to start cutting pieces from it until I have the size that I want. What I want to make is I want to make the letter B so that my daughter can hang on her door for her bedroom. That is her initial, and I think she's going to love it. So after I had the size that I wanted, I made a rectangle in the middle, making sure that I left enough on the sides so that I can then draw the B. And as you can see, I just rounded off the edges and then using my blade knife, which by the way, I do have on my Amazon store, and it is actually amazing. It cuts through the cardboard, even thick cardboard, very easily. Highly recommended. So now I'm just going to start cutting here and there to make sure that I get the size and the shape of the bee that I'm looking for. Friends, I'd love to connect with you on Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest. So if you want to check those out, I have the links down below in the description box. Alright, so now I'm just going to again sand smooth those edges using my sanding block, and we're going to give everything 2 coats of Waverly chalk paint in the white. I want to give it a plank look, so I'm going to take my square and I'm just going to take a permanent marker, the thin kind, and I'm just going to start drawing lines all across, all the way down the B, and I'm using the same width as the ruler. That way it's consistent and it just looks nice and even. And then we are going to start wrapping around the B as well, because again, you can see the cardboard edge. I'm just going to hot glue some of this white nautical rope from Dollar Tree, and we're going to do it all around. When I reach at the end, I realized that I wanted to do the inside of the bee as well, just to kind of make everything look nice and cohesive. After I was done with that, I realized that you can see a lot of gaps in between the rope and the cardboard. So I decided to double up on the rope. So once I was done doing the middle section, I just added another layer right next to the other rope. That way it's going to cover up that gap very nicely. It's so easy to make. I sped it up because I knew it would just be way too long, but look how stunning that looks. Now, I wanted to add some greenery and some florals to make it look very feminine. So I'm going to add these magnolia leaves that I already had on hand from other picks that I had left over. And a couple of these pink peonies. They have two different shades. I love getting these. I get them on Amazon, and I do have them in my Amazon store if you want to check them out. And then I'm going to add some of the leaves from the peonies here and there with some hot glue. That way it's going to add that nice contrast with the two different types of green tones. And look how beautiful this turned out. My daughter absolutely loved it. We're going to hang it on her door, and it's going to be a nice welcoming sign for everyone to see. All right, moving on to the next one. I am going to take another piece of the large cardboard, and I'm going to use this stencil, which is the one we're going to use for it, and just trace it. I left about 1 inch to maybe 1.5 inches on the other sides because I do want to add an edge to it or a frame to it. I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to paint it white once again, but you can do any color you want. And I'm going to do 2 coats and let it fully dry. Friends, I have a blog which I post every single week, and I post a detailed written format of my videos. So if you want to check it out, it is linked down below. All right, these little flat dolls are from Amazon. Yes, they are in my Amazon store, and I'm just going to stain them in this brown chalked wax. It's like a gel, and I'm just going to stain them and let them dry. This is what I'm going to use to frame the sign. Then I'm going to do the same look that I did on the bee earlier, but this one's going to be a little wider just so that it looks like the planks are just a little larger. And then I'm going to place the stencil. This stencil I got a while back. I believe it was from Amazon. And I'm just going to tape it lightly just so that it stays in place. And then I'm going to start stenciling it using Waverly chalk pen and the ink. I absolutely love revealing after a stencil. Isn't it so satisfying? Look how cute this looks. All right, so now we're going to frame it. So easy. We're just going to hot glue each dowel. These are so perfect for small signs like this. And I'm going to do it all around. And then on the sides where I didn't have enough, I'm just going to mark, leaving a little bit of the edge. And then I'm just going to hot glue it in place. I did overlap the edge just a little bit so it looks a little bit more seamless. And now it's time to just finish it off. I'm going to do the last piece here, and then I'm going to flip it over, and I am going to add some rope so that we can hang it. You don't have to add this if you're just going to lean it somewhere, maybe on a mantle or a console table, but adding the rope just gives you that option. Again, I'm going to hot glue it and tape it in place. And look how beautiful this looks. No one will ever know that this is cardboard. It is stunning. It is very farmhouse, and I love the way it turned out. For the next cardboard hack, I am going to take another piece of cardboard and just cut it to size. Again, just looking for something that matches what I'm looking for. And I'm just going to then cut it into 4 pieces. I'm going to find the middle piece, mark it, I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to find the middle section of those 2 pieces and cut them so that I have 4 pieces that are pretty similar in size. Now we're creating a little banner, so I do want to cut the bottom portion in a V shape. So I'm just going to mark in the center and then cut with my blade knife. I am then going to use that first one and use as a guide to cut the other 3. Once I had them cut, I am going to paint them using Waverly chalk paint in the moss, and I'm just going to do 1 coat, and I'm going to do even the edges. I want the banner to say home, and I am going to use my Cricut Joy, and I'm just going to cut out the word home, replacing the O with a nice heart. I'm going to then remove each decal, and I'm just going to start applying it, finding the center as close as possible. Now it's time to bring in a board where we can place the banner on. This plank here I used in a different video for another sign, and I'm just going to freshen it up, giving it one very light coat of Waverly chalk paint in the white. That way it's just going to brighten up. I'm going to flip over the home, making sure that the letters are where they need to be, and I'm just going to flip them over and separate them, leaving about a ½ inch in between each. And then we're going to hot glue some jute rope, and that way we can hang it from there. Once again, I'm going to add a small piece of tape in between. That way it's just not going to go anywhere. Then once I had him, I'm just going to put him right in the center of the board, giving it a little bit of a hang to it. I'm going to place some tape on the each end temporarily so that we could flip it over and then we can staple the jute string. This is going to allow for it to stay in place while I staple it, but also keep that little swag that I like when I see a banner. Let me tell you, I think this is my favorite. I should have put it first. I love the way it turned out, but I love all of them. This one, I love the contrast of the green and the white, and it's just one of my favorites. But let me know which one is your favorite. I always love to hear what you guys like. And I have another video here for you with tons more of cardboard inspiration. Check it out. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.